Hey, second graders, we are going to work on DIY number 2, which is called the little house. So what I want you to do is flip to the recording sheet. It's just after the rural, suburban, and urban, and it is sideways. So the directions say, scan the little house QR code right here, and draw, you get to draw, how the little house looks in an urban, suburban, and rural neighborhood. Then explain why this is rural. Explain why this picture that you drew is suburban and urban. So what you're going to do now is you're going to put this down and you're going to get the QR code reader on the iPad. Scan this QR code. Make sure you have your headphones in, which you should already have right now. And you're going to listen to the video, okay? And just listen. Look at all the pictures. Look at the little house. What's changing about the little house? What's changing around the little house, okay? So take a moment, listen to the book. Once you finish the book, pause this video, and then come back and we'll finish talking, okay? So go ahead and pause. Go up to another screen and listen to the little house and then come right back. Okay, cute book, right? It's so cute. I love it. It's my favorite. Okay, so what I want you to do is you're going to get your pencil. Don't worry about your crayons right now. We're not looking at how fancy you can color a picture. We're looking at, do you understand what is rural, urban, and suburban? So what I want you to do is draw a little picture of what did the little house look like in the rural area. And remember, if you did DIY number 1, then you remember Miss Warrington grew up in a rural, this word is hard for me, rural area. I grew up on 20 acres of land. I had a pond. I had horses and chickens and dogs and cats and a big tractor that my dad mowed our lawn and a four-wheeler and oh my gosh, what else? Did I say a pond? We went fishing all the time. And we had our own vegetable garden my mom made. And so I had bunnies and rabbits. Their names were Flopsy and Mopsy. It was so fun. So I grew up in a rural area. So what kind of area do you think you should draw? So you're going to draw that right here. Okay? So go ahead and draw that. Pause the video. When you're finished, come right back. Okay, so you just drew a picture. Maybe you drew some farmland, a pond. You know, remember a pond is a man-made body of water. Maybe you drew crops with farmers on there. And it's rural because, why? Tell me why this picture shows that it's rural. Okay, pause the video. When you're finished, come back and we'll do suburban. Okay, so now it's suburban time. So if you watch DIY number 1 already, then you remember my little trick I use. Suburban is a type of car also, and it's big. You can fit all your kids in there and take them to the grocery store, to the movies, and to the soccer games, and baseball, and football games, and everything. And so I think of a suburban car with a suburban area, with lots of families, lots of houses, basically McKinney, right where you live in your neighborhood. Okay, so that's kind of suburban. So what I want you to do now is you're going to draw me a little picture, maybe what your neighborhood looks like, okay? So pause the video, draw it, and then come right back. Ready? Okay, now in your own words, I want you to tell me, what does it mean this picture describes? It is suburban because why? What did you draw? What made it a suburban area? Pause the video, write it, then come back to me. Okay, the last one, urban. Urban, think of downtown Dallas. What happened to the little house? Oh, my phone is ringing. What happened to the little house once everything started to grow into around it? Everything was really tight around it. So urban. So stop, draw a picture, and then come right back to me. All right, last part. Now I want you to tell me in your own words why this was an urban picture. In your own words, tell me a little bit right here. Pause it and then come back because we're going to do one more thing. Okay, so now should have drawn 3 different pictures and written 3 different sentences describing each picture that you drew about rural, suburban, and urban. Now we're going to flip to our research questions because this is what the state of Texas says that you have to know as a 2nd grader. Now, if you've already done DIY number 1, then you've already done these research questions, which is number 2, number 3, and number 4. But if you have, go back and double check. Now that you've done 2 DIYs on maybe rural, suburban, and urban, maybe you can add to it a little bit more. If not, number 2 says, what is a rural community? Now, if you need to go back and look at your pictures and your sentence that you wrote to help you, you can. So what is a rural community? And rural, remember, think about where Miss Warrington grew up. Think about the little house when it was all alone by itself and no one was around. That is a rural area. Don't write where Miss Warrington grew up, okay? Pause the video, write it, and then come right back. Okay, number 3, what is an urban community? Urban, remember, think about downtown Dallas. Think about the end, almost the end of the book, where everything was built up around the little house and it felt squished and, smoke and trains and everything was going around it and it was busy around it. So that is an urban area. So what I want you to do is pause the video and tell me what is an urban area right here, okay? Okay, the last one and then you're done with DIY number 2. Ready? Number 4, what is a suburban community? And remember, suburban, remember my description about the car. Remember a suburban car? Think about McKinney. We live in a suburban community. So tell me a little bit right here in your own words. After you've written that, then you're done. Check off DIY number 2. Good job.